Survival House Network.
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Riverman from BehindTheMaskPresents.com, episode 32, and we are here with Goose, and we're here with Pat. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man.
Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Ready to talk some Evil Dead.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some Evil Dead tonight. First things, we're gonna jump into some news and some movie-related topics. But what's been going on? You guys watched anything recently, or anything that stands out?
You know, I mean, honestly, the past week I've just been gearing up for the Evil Dead thing, and I, watched the 3 classics like I have a million times just to get prepped. And to be honest with you, I watched the second one again after I saw the new movie. I watched it just sandwiched in there, and just to, I don't know, it gave me a feel prior and afterwards of how much a better movie it is.
Sure.
I don't know. But
we'll get into that later.
I know, but that's what I've been watching. It's just that stuff.
Sure.
Honestly.
What about you, Pat? Anything?
Check out the first episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And been gearing up for Mad Men season 6 by rewatching the 5th season. So
haven't watched Mad Men yet. I hear it's awesome, though.
I know. I need to watch that too. I'm going to be watching the second episode of Game of Thrones. I got it recorded, so hopefully watch that tonight. So
I watched the first season and I loved it. I didn't watch any of the second season, and obviously not the third.
I like the first season better, but I still love the second season.
I just didn't have HBO access or something, and whatever, it wasn't at my grasp so easily, so I just didn't get around to it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first season. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Breaking Bad personally. Then finally finishing that off and done dragging that guy out.
And that's one show I need to get back onto. I watched 4 or 5 episodes and then
I love that.
Jump back into it, but in the news, some things I just came across was I watched this trailer called The Purge, which is a horror thriller. I think it's produced by Michael Bay, which is your favorite person there, Goose. But this looks actually pretty good. It's coming out at the end of May, and basically the plot is the unemployment rate is 1%, and the crime is an all-time low. This is the only reason the U.S. government has they put in a program into motion called The Purge for one night of the year. Over a 12-hour period, criminal activity, including rape, murder, and everything else, is legal. So,
wouldn't that be binge then?
I don't know, but they came up with something. So 12 hours, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But it looks pretty intense, man. It's kind of a cool concept, I think. It's something different.
Sounds like they live in the same universe as the Demolition Man movie, dude.
And I love Demolition Man.
Dish out credits for saying a bad word.
Now is this some dystopian society type thing, or is this like a secret kind of underground thing that only certain people know about? Or
oh no, this is all the United States has become a utopia once again.
But
blah blah blah.
Did they explain the reasoning of letting people just kind of get their fill and have their cheat day, if you will, in violence? I mean, I don't understand it.
Well, basically, from keeping people from probably doing violent acts,
all year
364 days out of the year, I guess. I don't know.
You'd think that a lot of damage could be done in about 12 hours if it was nationwide, though. I don't know. Maybe. Whatever. I guess I have to watch the movie, but
it brings up a lot of interesting things. Security companies in that society, I'm sure, freaking ruling the economy.
Yeah, that's right. And they showed in the trailer, the streets are deserted, and they have these crazy security systems and all that shit. So, give it a watch. I mean, the trailer looks pretty cool. So,
yeah, I'd seen the still in the trailer people had posted on my Facebook and stuff. I hadn't had a chance to check it out, but yeah, I'm reading something here about it while you're talking about it, and it sounds pretty interesting.
And Ethan Hawke's, he's a pretty good actor, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do again. But that is one thing. The rest are pretty much upcoming Blu-rays that I'm anticipating.
Anybody hear about that? They're yet again releasing another Day of the Dead transfer.
Yes.
Again. Going to steal money some more.
Which Shout Factory should be putting out, I think, by the end of the year. And Then again, I'll have to buy another copy of Day of the Dead, which I own like probably 10 copies by now, but...
You're the sucker that keeps going for it, man.
I know, man, but I always need to see the newer and better transfers and the special features and blah, blah, blah. So...
Damn you, capitalism.
I know.
Yeah.
But some of my most anticipated titles are Dirty Mary Crazy Larry Blu-ray, which also is Race with the Devil. That comes out on the 28th from Shout Factory.
Oh, really?
Rolling Thunder comes out Shout Factory May 28th, which is a phenomenal film if you're into old exploitation films. Street Trash from Synapse, fantastic. I'm sure majority of people probably seen Street Trash that are into like the old 80s sleazy trashy movies like me, but that one, and that comes out June 11th from Synapse. And then ABC's Death, which I've been hearing a lot of good things about, and
I don't know, man. I heard mixed things, and honestly some of the stuff I seen didn't seem appealing to me. Now I get it that it's a bunch of different directors, and if a couple segments didn't catch my eye, that doesn't mean the rest of it won't. But I don't know, man.
I think it's like 26 different directors or something. I was reading.
Well, I mean, there's
26 ways to die. Yeah. So.
Yeah. What about American Mary? When's that North American getting released?
You know what? I still haven't came across a release date for that. I know it's out in Canada, and it's out in Europe right now. But last time I talked to the Soska sisters, they still didn't know exactly what.
I know
date.
people have been ordering the region freeze from England. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really order region free movies, but I don't know.
Or I don't even think they're region free. I think it's people with region free players. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't either, but that's cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much the news I got for that. But anything else newsworthy you guys want to talk about?
I heard a rumor, and that's all it is. So I don't know if it's newsworthy. But did anybody hear some jive turkey talk about Night of the Living Dead remake directed by George Romero?
Why would he?
I've heard a few people talk about it here and there,
and I don't know if it's like I said, anything credible. I just literally was passing through and I had caught whims of it. But according to these whims, I read something about George Romero doing his own remake with both Tom Savini and Greg Nicotero on board. But like I said, I don't know any credibility.
He's getting pretty desperate now, though. I mean,
well, no, you know what? And let's just pretend that is real if it was. And I agree with you, man. It's sad, but he can't really make a good movie anymore. No. And but at the same time, if that's what it takes to get a good zombie film out of Romero, I'll take it. I think there's a lot you could do with Night of the Living Dead. I mean, obviously, there's a couple of people that have remade it, and I really like 1990s version. That was
Tom Savini,
yeah, but. I think he could probably make a really good movie out of that simple old story. Probably add a little to it, and if it's cheap and kind of a cash out, so be it. I mean, I'll take it.
I think he needs to start making regular movies again because he's obviously can't make a zombie film anymore to save his life.
Oh man, I don't want Monkey Shines 2, dude.
No, Bruiser was great, dude. I thought that was a really good movie, and of course Martin's great. I mean, he has a lot of
See, I didn't like Martin like you liked Martin.
Really?
It didn't do anything for me, and Bruiser, if I recall, was pretty subpar. I mean, nothing.
I really enjoyed it, but
that had the Misfits in it, right? Is that the one with the Misfits cameo?
Yeah,
he's dumb.
I liked it, but
and then Monkey Shines is the worst.
I'll give you that. That's a piece of shit.
Dude, it reminds me of like a '70s made-for-TV Brian song movie, like with a monkey that kills people. It just. And the guy, maybe I say Brian's song because the guy's like a paraplegic, isn't he? And he's got like that old school, James Caan curly frizzy fro. I don't know. It's just a movie I can't take seriously, and it's not scary or good at all. I mean, I do like Creepshow, but
Creepshow's fantastic.
Creepshow thought.
I don't know. Land of the Dead. I still think Land of the Dead's a pile of shit myself. Like I own it, and I've watched it probably once, and then I was like, nah, I'm never watching this again. But.
No. I mean, I think the idea in Land of the Dead had a lot of potential that just wasn't cashed in on.
No, I agree.
and I understand that it was meant to be a two-parter, and it's really suffering without that part 2 attached to it.
I'm into everybody. I stopped sucking Romero's dick after Land of the Dead, so I'm not a hater or anything, but
that Survival of the Dead, the Western horse riding,
that's crap, dude.
Horse riding zombies.
That's a crap movie too. So
as I was saying, you know what? If that's what it's going to take is for him to cash out on his most known role, then I'll take it if that's all we're going to get. Because I would go see it. I mean, I think it would be. Especially if you had, those makeup guys on board, I would go see it. So,
Most Def.
If Most Def was on board, I'd go see it.
There you go. Oh, yeah. One thing I wanted to throw out there, I saw Spring Breakers, and I actually, you know what? Like after I saw it, I was like, I didn't know what to think. I slept on it, and the next day, I really enjoyed it. Like, I thought it's a pretty crazy moments. I mean, you just hate these women in the film. And then you start to like him towards the end of the film. But
was there any Disney Channel girl on girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And with Greg Franco, who is awesome. He's so funny and the wankster.
James Franco.
Who did I say?
You said Greg Franco, whoever the hell that guy is.
Oh, James Franco, whatever. I know a Greg Franco. Sorry.
Whatever. Okay.
James Franco, but yeah, he's pretty badass in it. So I would definitely watch it again. I mean, I'd recommend checking it out.
Well, rock on, man. Well, I don't know if there's anything else, but I'm ready. I'm itching to get back into Evil Dead. I'm just biting my tongue for a couple of days now.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk Evil Dead.
Mom would have hated seeing the cabin like this.
Oh, is that blood? What is this?
Shouldn't have touched anything from that basement.
Kunda. Strata. Montose. Kanda.
You are all going to die tonight.
I read a passage from that book. I released some evil. Oh my God! What the fuck did you do that?
Hey guys, we're back. Talking a little bit of Evil Dead remake.
Do you guys mind if I start for a second?
Please.
Okay, I'll start. Anybody that's been following along with us, if you've listened to prior podcasts or you follow us online, you know that this was sort of the rare exception where we've been really excited about this remake. I mean, River and I have been hyping it up and talking about it and really, really endorsing it and, spreading it out there for a long time now. And I guess it was just the idea that this was also the rare instance where the producers of the original were actually condoning and behind this, unlike all the other Hollywood cash outs where it's the studios who own it now and they go against all the integrity and they're just looking to make a quick buck. Anyway, we actually went to see it, and it's really hard to grade based on any other movie, like you would any other film, because it is, carrying the Evil Dead moniker. I mean, so I could give you 3 different angles of review. Like, well, looking at it as a remake, it's such and such, or looking at it as an Evil Dead, it's such and such, or looking at it as just a regular horror movie, it's such and such. But I mean, granted, as a whole, I mean, I understand. I know it's unfair to say it's not original because I know it's coming from source material. So obviously, but with that said, even taking the source material, I don't think the director did anything original as far as it's what's been done in a lot of modern day horror movies. You know what I'm trying to say?
No.
Sam Raimi clearly has his unique flavor of doing things, and this guy really didn't do he didn't really add anything to the palette. Unlike my biggest example is, I mean, granted, it's a very flawed film also, but Rob Zombie's Halloween, whether you like it or not, you can't deny he took his very unique directing style and put it all over a movie that once had another director's very unique flavor style. You know what I'm trying to say? And that was, I don't know, that's the biggest thing that kept it from just being, I don't know, it was just kind of another remake to me, for the most part.
And the thing is, like, I was sitting in the theater watching this film, and then I was kind of trying to compare it to, like, a movie, like, I don't know why. Cabin Fever. I was comparing it to Cabin Fever. Like, what did I like about this film? What did I like about Cabin Fever? I actually liked Cabin Fever a lot better.
You too.
What did you say?
I said I did too, man.
It's kind of funny to say, but I mean, the gore isn't as there, but yeah.
Cabin Fever's characters were really likable. Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing, and like I said, it's not exactly fair because it's not exactly like the original Evil Dead films. Characters are super likable and they had character substance, because they didn't, and the acting was horrible. Mm-hmm. But I mean, these characters, I know it's a modern day film, so this might sound a little redundant, but it's not that they had modern actors, it's that they had modern Hollywood remake actors. I mean, you could have taken those actors and you could have put them in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake or the Friday the 13th remake, and they would have blended right in. I mean, they didn't stick out any. I mean, I didn't care about any one of them, even though they tried so hard to actually give them backstory, which that's the only, I mean, I didn't mind the story they added to the beginning and the end. I get it. It's modern day and it's actually got a budget, so they got to have a little story in there. They can't get away with, just jumping right into it. Mm-hmm. But I hated that whole thing with the brother and the sister. They had that 10-minute monologue of, you left us, you left me with my sick mother, and I'm never going to leave you again. I'm like, do I really need this fucking shit? I don't.
Just kill a bitch.
I didn't like that, but, I mean, they got to have their Dawson's Creek element to it, I guess. But I don't know. Even at those attempts, I did not care for anybody in this movie. But
what do you think, Ben?
I just don't think any of the characters were really that compelling. Like, none of them really grasped you, which I think obviously it's a big part of the first one, where Ash goes from being kind of this wiener guy in the beginning to rising to the occasion to kill all these zombies, and then obviously they do the whole hero thing in the second and third one. But like, even the Mia, the protagonist, like, I just thought she was like, I wanted her to be just dead.
Yeah.
I didn't. And how it ended, like, it really made no sense to me, and it irritated the shit out of me, actually. But yeah, I don't know. The more I sat and thought about it over the weekend, the more there's been some things that kind of bothered me, and like, I really wanted to like this movie, and I'm with you. I almost don't know if I like this movie or if I even can like this movie, because I love the trilogy for so much. But yeah, I thought the dialogue was kind of clunky, which I don't know. I can kind of overlook that. Yeah. But again, none of the performances were just like, I agree with Aaron. You could just drop in any young person who might have appeared as an extra in an episode of Gossip Girl, and it would have worked just fine.
And that's not to say that all modern movies and actors are like that, because, River and I have watched some underground films, especially like Ty West, one of our favorite kind of on the rise directors. And, he's made films like House of the Devil and Innkeepers and stuff like that. And, just by definition, they're modern films, but it's not those modern actors. It's not those spray painted, those mall types. I don't know. And it's just that it seems like Hollywood demands those types. So I don't know. In Cabin Fever, you could even call that modern too, but those characters really didn't fit the mold. Even if you did have Ryder Strong, Sean Hunter, whatever. I don't know. I just
the party man,
the fucking party man. But I don't know. That's just one of the aspects of the film. Like you were saying, I can overlook that stuff, and I can understand as a casual moviegoer. I'm pretty sure if you're a casual moviegoer and you were just wanting to go see a casual horror film, that's probably all these people that loved it so much, and I could see that. Now, I could see enjoying a movie for what it is if it's just a whole bunch of splatterhouse grind and gore and stuff. Now, what was there was good, but man, it took too long to get into it. It really didn't, for the amount of enjoyment it offered, that enjoyment did not show itself until Mia actually presented herself as possessed and she had the shotgun. But everything leading up to that was pretty dragging. It's like I'm zoning in and out and in and out and in and out. The rape scene didn't do anything for me. I actually thought the old school one was more potent, and they didn't show anything. I mean, that's weird. But
that was way more hardcore. Obviously, I think they probably have to dumb it down to keep an R rating or whatever.
Sure.
But
But I mean, I like the original cheeseball effects of the branches just kind of moving forward than seeing, some swamp woman have a CGI hairball branch come out of her mouth and go up a leg. I've seen far worse. I want to see why this movie got an NC-17 before, because I can't see it, as it is.
I guess we'll have to wait till the DVD or the Blu-ray. Goose, do you think you would have kind of felt that that the action, I guess you'd say, kind of drug on if you hadn't been, kind of like waiting for it, kind of in the wings, like pretty much how it's going to happen, and you're just kind of waiting for that, that story process to kind of just unfold for you? Did it just kind of just seem that way, or do you think? I guess I haven't looked at the running times in comparison to like when action.
Well, they're all about an hour and a half long, give or take a few minutes. So, yeah. in judging that the first two Evil Deads, they just pretty much didn't waste any time, especially the second one. Like they took about all of 2 minutes to recap the first one. I mean, wasn't it like it's like within 5 minutes he was cutting his girlfriend's head off with a shovel, for God's sakes, and I love it. But in this one, it was an hour and a half as well, and it seemed like it took about 30 to 40 minutes for them to actually start getting into it. And I don't know, maybe I am spoiled by the other Evil Dead, especially since I freshly watched them, and maybe also the fact that I don't mind a little story, but it was 30, 40 minutes of useless character announcements. Like, they very blatantly had to point out who everybody was. I'm the doctor. I'm the nurse. I'm the brother. I'm the dorky guy. I get it. I don't need this. And I didn't need that explanation in the old films. It's like, you kind of got it or you didn't get it. Now let's get on with it. I don't know. It was silly.
Well, it's almost kind of just unnecessary to expound upon that. We don't need to know the fact that one chick is a nurse so she can treat somebody. You know what I mean? It's the stuff. She wasn't like, she wasn't tying a tourniquet over a severed leg or like closing an artery up. She was treating like mild cuts and bruises. So,
yeah.
She said she gave her a sedative. People carry Valium around in their pocket like candy. So, that's no big deal. But I didn't mind.
Well, I didn't mind the updates they did with the prologue scene with the girl from the past and the stuff they had to add in afterwards. I didn't mind all that. It was just all that little stuff during the movie. Yeah, like I just thought it was.
No, yeah. It just seemed kind of asinine to me to even really be doing this.
I mean, yeah. Gosh, and you know what? This is funny. This is kind of cheating if I'm going to steal maybe something you were going to say, River, but it's something that we actually briefly talked about, and I agreed with you 100% when you said that you felt the movie really started with the raining blood scene.
Yep.
That is when it really got fresh. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. It is the best, 5 minutes, or it's way too short, but it probably is the best part.
That's the point where I actually started getting into the movie, and then 5 minutes later it's over. It's like, fuck. But and the whole scene before that, I think Pat would mention it. It's stupid, cheesy. She comes back to life. Spoiler alert, but
well, everybody should know that there's gonna be spoilers, and we'll alert people of that, so we can go ahead with those. But I hated that whole part because it broke the consistency of the film, because you could tell it was going for serious. It wasn't going for the Sam Raimi shtick, and they kept with that the whole movie, but then at the end, let's just break that and let's have some really ridiculous MacGyver attempt at bringing my sister back with adrenaline shots tied to a car battery and all kinds of retarded stuff.
It was absolutely ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous, and it's almost like she's a Horcrux from the last Harry Potter movie and books. It's just. The Evil Dead has, she's still available in her, she can still come back to life if she wants, and her tongue's not cut in half, and all the other stuff that happened to her just didn't affect her. She's perfectly fine, and that's the part that really, really bothered me about the whole thing. And all of a sudden he jerry rigs a defibrillator out of 2 syringes and a car battery charger, and it just what I don't know.
It was dumb, and I mean, I don't even think, scientifically speaking, because I watched it a second time, I was really, really looking closely at how this contraction was all connected, and I don't even think scientifically possible it was going to work the way it was presented to work. I don't think this would conduct all that electricity. It looked just stupid.
The only conductive material in a syringe would be the needle. So
it was it was ridiculous. But either way, it's something that you would see out of maybe the old Evil Dead's, like something totally ridiculous, and it just broke the entire character of this movie. And another thing is, he really did some quick thinking, like, I can't burn her. And he just did some quick thinking and put who. I mean, you'd think your adrenaline was rushing pretty fast. I don't know, but good for him.
Personally, I think that should have been where the chainsaw should have come into play to start, but I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it would have been more exciting. Another thing is, okay, that Book of the Dead, it said, okay, you can burn them, you can bury them alive, you can totally dismember them. Okay, he buried her, but for like 5 seconds? I mean, a real human being probably wouldn't have been dead by the time he dug her. I mean, he dug her up right away.
Yeah.
If a real human being probably could have held their breath for as long as she was under, you'd think a servant of Satan could have surely held her breath long enough. Because I really thought she was going to be pulling a gag on him. Like, yeah, I'm really a demon. But no, it surprised me. Like, wait, no, she's really back to life. And she has no slit tongue, as you said. And she's all pretty and gutsied up. Like, well, I guess that's all you have to do. They should have reiterated a little finer in the book. Like, you don't really have to bury them alive. You just have to throw dirt an inch over their face for half a second.
Well, maybe the Candalian demon, their Achilles heel is they can't hold their breath for very long,
We'll just justify it that way. It was really silly to me, but
no. But on a good note, though, the gore was good. I really enjoyed the gore.
I thought the gore was fantastic. Honestly,
yeah.
I thought it was pretty brutal. And I liked seeing obviously the no CGI blood and stuff like that. But the effects that did bother me, I guess like when you kind of see gore that is real anymore, like when you see the CGI effects that are like in that movie, like they're almost too polished. So they kind of just look, I don't know if the campy's the word for it, but just like they just stick out like a sore thumb. And that kind of bothers me, I guess. I don't know.
CGI in modern movies, I'm not going to get all anal about. I mean, I understand. It's kind of like the way stop motion animation was back in the day, like Evil Dead 2 or whatever. So I get it. But you know what? It didn't bother me, but the whole hyping it up as this movie has absolutely no CGI. I mean, we were all calling bullshit in the first 2 minutes when you saw that one chick's face on fire, and they sprinkled it out. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't really care that much, but don't sit there and try and bait and switch me here. But and I watched it a second time, so I caught it. I caught even more parts where it was sprinkled. And granted, I think it was done overall tastefully. I mean, I think the flame face did kind of look a little cheesy. I think the way
I didn't think it looked bad.
No, but I think maybe that's what you were talking about, Pat. I'm not so sure. I mean, I think they could have did that a little differently. I wouldn't have minded if they just would have had some kind of like prop skull on fire, like opening its mouth open, like a dummy. I think that would have looked a little cooler than having that stupid CGI. Like, I don't need to see the expression in their face. I'll deal without that if that's what it means, not to have it look all cartoony. But I don't know.
The Mortal Kombat skull.
I would have taken that.
I think we're getting a little too picky on the CGI. This being, the first one without CGI.
Maybe.
What about the inconsistencies in the movie? The biggest thing actually that bothered me was the whole Book of the Dead stated 5 more souls, and then the damned one or whatever they call them will rise. And did anybody count 5 souls? There was only 5 kids in this whole house, and so okay, it seems like a match made in heaven. But okay, Mia came back to life, so that one doesn't count. The nurse died. That's one.
Well, like I said, it's the Horcrux thing. So Mia died technically as a zombie, so I guess that counts as a soul.
Okay, were they counting her brother David because he killed himself?
No,
were they?
I think me and my wife had this conversation too. That he killed himself when he blew up the gas tank. So obviously, someone down in hell can't count. I don't know.
Well, unless they were counting the original girl that rose from the dead, that was in the beginning.
Maybe, yeah.
But they cleansed her. I'm like, what's the point of cleansing if it's still got I don't know. I thought
she was still there, so.
But they were talking about to cleanse her. They kept saying it's the only way her soul will find peace and she'll be free to cleanse it. But I don't know. They were just kind of inconsistent. I didn't really spell it out, but I don't know. Maybe that's why I didn't expect for the end to happen, the blood to start raining from the sky, because I didn't count 5 people. I don't know. But I don't know.
Maybe the book was wrong.
Guess. But you know what? I think after I watched this film, I think the decision I came to was, I guess if I could change things, I think they were probably still better off just leaving it alone and not making it. With that said, I'm not saying it was a bad movie. Like I said, if you're not going to dissect it like a hardcore fan might, then you just want to go see a casual movie. Chances are you'll probably like it because it wasn't not worth the admission, especially if you're an Evil Dead fan. I mean, yeah, you got to see it, and I didn't mind going to see it. I won't buy it probably when it comes out. That's kind of my grading scale. But now that, I was just going to say that now that they did go ahead and make it and they've already gotten that far, I think they should at least now see their plan through of making 7 movies total, 3 of these, and then one more Army of Darkness 2, and then doing the whole multiverse thing. I think they're not going to hurt it anymore for me because I'm always going to love the first 2 the same, and they're not going to do any more damage than they have already if they've done any. So they might as well go balls to the wall with it and see what they can do. Maybe improve on this new line. You can talk now, River.
Okay. One good thing that came out of this, it grossed, $26 million. It's number 1 in the box office, which is great for the horror genre. I'll give them that. And which means, if this is a huge success, I mean, they're going to be coming out with a lot more horror films here in the next couple of years, good or bad. I just want to see them out there.
I mean, and Sam Raimi they've already expressed, hey, we want to do Army of Darkness 2, and now that you said it, this movie's done 26 mil and number 1 in the box office. It's only gonna, push that possibility even further because, I mean, the producers behind it want to do it. So maybe the only thing standing in their way is for them getting the backing and distributing right. But now that it's a big hit, they've got the proof behind them to back it up. So if I get an Army of Darkness 2 out of it, it was more than worth it. I'm not unhappy. Keep making these Evil Dead movies. Whatever.
No, I agree. And when you're saying, not worth a watch, worth a rent purchase, I'm going to end up purchasing it. I have to have it in the collection. I still want to see what it looks like, the NC-17 version.
You're getting me on that one. I do want to, but then why don't you just Redbox it then?
Because I'm an elitist, man. I got to have it all.
You're going to pay the $20 ticket?
Yeah, I'll buy it.
You know what? I feel sold out right now because, River and I had a bit of a pact. Like, yeah, man, I'm not going to get it either. And then when we actually start recording, he throws me under the bus. I'm going to get it.
Well, I hope it has a cool slipcover.
No. Well, the thing is if they go on with this whole multiverse idea, then technically this wouldn't have been a remake. It would have been like a pseudo sequel reboot. Its own thing with these 2 universes going side by side. And you got to admit, if you had someone like Bruce Campbell or Ash's character in this movie, it would have livened it up quite a bit. Because Bruce Campbell, he's got more character and charm for both universes, and he would have lightened that place right up. So, I mean, I can only imagine the way I guess they've kind of mentioned they're going to do it is, I guess the next one would be Army of Darkness 2, and then they would have Evil Dead 2, and then the 7th one would combine the 2. So I guess Ash in their world or something. But, I mean, as long as he's in there, man, I think it's going to be entertaining. Which, by the way, did you guys see the Easter egg at the end?
No, with the Bruce Campbell.
I think they were covering their asses. I mean, if they do decide to go forth with the whole multiverse thing, then they can be like, oh, well, that was kind of planting the seed of, and then also they had the classic recording, even though it was redubbed, of the Panasonic tape recorder from the first one, reciting the Book of the Dead. Yeah. Leading into the Ash cameo and things like that. But, and if they didn't go along with it, it could just be seen as a cheap gag to please the fans because it wasn't much, because it's literally just a black screen. Then all of a sudden you see his profile of his face come from the darkness and say groovy and then look at you real quick and that's it. It really wasn't anything. It would have been a lot cooler if it was actually like a scene, like he was like in his S-Mart get up, something to actually.
And we missed that, Pat.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll have to go back and check it out then.
Literally, I mean, I just described it the best you could even imagine it. It's a dark black room, and all of a sudden his chin comes visible in the darkness, and then he says, real quick, off. It's all of like 3 seconds. But they should have had him like working at S-Mart or something. I don't know, but as long as I get more Army of Darkness, I'm happy. I mean, I don't even know what to rate this film personally. It's just
I have a scale. Overall rating, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. For gore, I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. Being Dead Alive is going to be 10 out of 10 for gore. Of course, it's the bloodiest movie ever made, so I would give it 8 out of 10.
Really?
For gore, but for actual film, probably a 6 out of 10.
I don't know, man. I give it a 5 or a 6. 6 might be generous. I'm going to cut it 5.
5.5?
The gore is really good. I just think I wish it would have been at least like the older movies where it pretty much kicked off right from the beginning. Because if we would have had that gore that was in this movie pretty much 5 minutes into it onward, it would have been incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I like the gore. I like the effects and all that good stuff. I like the syringe pulling out of the eyes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have to deduct a point actually because of the crowds. I don't know what kind of movie crowds. And opening night, it was packed. I mean, I went to a midnight show Thursday night and actually 10 p.m. show or whatever you want to call it. And I didn't get it, man, because there's a big line of people and they all seemed like they were Evil Dead nerds. And I think they just had this preconception of what this movie was supposed to be because they grew up with Evil Dead, because everybody in the audience was laughing at everything. And I found it so annoying because clearly they weren't going for the humorous approach in this movie. They were trying to be dark, and it was taking me out of the film because everybody was laughing at all the stupidest stuff. I mean, I don't know. It was the most obnoxious crowd I've ever been a part of.
Well, it couldn't have been. I mean, ours was terrible, too. We had the 3 obnoxious black ladies in back of us. Oh, don't go in there.
People talk a lot, man. It's stupid. Bunch of frat guys, that were making fart noises at the supposedly suspenseful parts. I don't know. That took me out of it. I saw it again.
I don't get people anymore. I've gone to a lot of movies lately, and this has been a problem. I didn't pay $9 to listen to you talk through the whole fucking movie. Just shut the fuck up.
And they are pulling out their cell phones all the time and shit. I'm like, really? You can't just sit here for an hour and a half and not look at your cell phone.
There was people talking throughout the entire theater. I heard people left of me in front of us, plus the people behind us. It was just, I just don't get it anymore. I really don't. I almost cringe trying to go see a movie in the theaters or I just try to go see a matinee because I know nobody's going to be there during the middle of the day.
Exactly.
I love matinees. It takes you out of the movie, man. And I want to say, it's matinee, though. I saw it again today. And actually, it was a mid-afternoon show. And surprisingly, the theater was about a quarter filled. I think that's pretty good for a Sunday day show. But anyway, it's crazy because we were like the first people there. And like I said, quarter capacity. But everybody wanted to get around us. Like, spread out. You know what I'm saying? Don't you hate that when you think it's going to be pretty empty and then a few more sit like right next to you? Anyway, we're second from the top, and this family, father, mother, 2 children, a daughter, they come in, they sit right behind us, and we have this entire theater available in front of you. And okay, whatever, I give them the benefit of the doubt, like hopefully they'll be, but I can already tell they're going to be loud. They talked through the whole thing, especially the father, and the father had seen it before. That's even worse. And then I took my kid brothers because I'm a good role model like that. And they're little guys, man, but they love the original Evil Deads, so they're true. But anyway, this guy is right behind them, and he is not only narrating the whole movie, he is telling everything that's going to happen about 10 seconds before it happens.
Oh God, shut the fuck up!
Oh.
He was pissed. Dude, my little brothers are 10 and 11. They love going to see movies whenever I, get a chance to see them, whatever. And they were looking forward to it. And this, okay, for example, he's entering the room looking for the nurse. He's like sitting there telling his whole family as loud as he can, this hillbilly, like, oh my God, she's going to be cutting up her face. You might not want to look now, telling his daughter. And my little brothers are just pissed. And like when they found the dog, like when he's calling his name, Grandpa. And he's like, oh my God, Grandpa's dead. Like, fucking mother. I mean, the whole movie. And I felt so bad. I mean, I already knew what was going to happen, but I mean, like, I felt bad for them. Like, well, he has just tainted any enjoyment you guys got out of it. And I almost said something to the guy. I've never gotten to that point. But it was just so, I think just because the guy's kids were there, I think I didn't if he hadn't have been. But it's ridiculous. I agree. I don't know. Certain films. If I'm going to see Jackass, yeah, be as loud as you want, I guess, if I'm the Jackass going to see that stuff. But I don't know. There's just etiquette, man. Etiquette. Where is it?
They don't have it anymore, man. That died off when cell phones came around.
But he said that, too. He's like, man, the biggest thing that bugged me is like, movies are only getting more expensive. And like you said, I didn't pay $10 or whatever to hear this guy tell me everything because I went with another buddy who'd never seen it, and I felt bad for him, too. But it was stupid. But yeah. Anyway,
what about you, Pat? What do you give it overall?
I'm going to go with about a 7 out of 10. There's a few things I liked. I liked the kind of throwback things, that upside down camera angle at the beginning. That was kind of, I felt anyways, that was probably a little nod to that wacky angle that they use in the first one when he's kind of starting to go a little crazy. Then the old car sitting there broken down, and Mia's wearing that Michigan State sweatshirt. I thought that was cool. I wish somebody would have got thrown through a few more bookcases. That would have been more to my liking.
Hell yeah.
And I wish there would have been maybe like just you kind of even could have tweaked it a little bit, but kind of a nod to maybe some of the violence in the first one, like somebody gets stabbed with a pencil or something like that. I did like the fact too that they kind of had the little necklace there, that ugly, stupid fucking necklace that Ash gives Linda in the first one.
Yeah.
Hey, they gave it a backstory this time.
What's that?
They gave it a backstory this time.
Yeah, I know, but it actually looked better than that stupid magnifying glass thing that he originally gives her. But a little more of a budget. But and my I already kind of went over what I didn't like about it, but I thought the dog dying was completely unnecessary, and I'm not a fan of senseless animal killings in movies because I'm an animal lover. So, but yeah,
Cannibal Holocaust then.
I've seen it, and yeah, they're monkeys, but whatever.
It's fantastic.
Dude, that friggin' turtle scene is more disturbing than any of the fake human deaths in that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
But no, I agree with you. This movie had things going for it. So I mean, it sounds like I'm really hating on it, but I'm not, because I'm just judging it on a different standard. But again, I thought the gore was fantastic. I thought the stuff that they did do was really cool. The abomination at the end with the whole raining blood thing, and the chainsaw and whatnot. So, but yeah, I thought the gore was top notch. So, I think, just kind of round it all off. I give respect that he was not trying to copy Sam Raimi. He was doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm not going to say it was a failed effort, because I could tell the effort was there. He tried, they tried. I don't think it was executed as best as it could have been. But, yeah, that's just me being a total cynic. But, I do appreciate the throwbacks. And I liked how they were subtle. Like, for example, they didn't directly have a woman losing her hand and getting a chainsaw attached to it, but they had someone losing their hand and holding these were these little things that I caught, and like you were talking about that, I caught that camera angle too. I was even telling River the other day, I love that intro, that old school vibe, just driving into the cabin. I just felt it was retro. And you didn't mention the clock. That was the same clock from Evil 2. I guess. Yeah. But little things like that. But while keeping those little throwbacks, it was a completely different movie, I thought. So I give respect to that. And like I said, now that they've went ahead and done it, they might as well go all the way through it. And I want to see how they make this multiverse thing go. And you know what? They could justify it because they've got time travel involved. And when you got time travel involved, you can justify anything. So
all you need is the plutonium.
Ash doesn't need plutonium.
All right. Well, that'll pretty much round it out, unless you guys have anything else to add.
That's it, man. Hey, go see it.
Go see it. Go support it.
All right. Of course, guys, thanks for listening. But listen, leave feedback. We love it. We've been very appreciative of the feedback we've been given the last few weeks. It makes us smile. We like hearing if we suck or if we're great. And sometimes we listen to it and we fix things, or we, take recommendations. And, sometimes we think you're full of shit and we just tell you to, go screw off. But either way, we love it, and keep that coming. You can post that on the Facebook page. Give that a like, too, if you're going there. It's easy to find, Behind the Mask Presents. Go to the website, behindthemaskpresents.com.
iTunes.
Or leave feedback on the iTunes.
Feedback, please.
iTunes feedback. But that's all I got to say. Keep up to date, and we'll be back shortly with another one.